Why do the people who value evidence the most end up seeing reality the least? You claim the high ground of objectivity. You live by the data. You cling to facts like a religious text, believing they will save you. And yet, this relentless precision you worship, it is just sophisticated armor. It is not protection against external error. It is a dense intellectual defense system for your softest, weakest point, the naked, terrified ego, the part of you that fears nothing more than being proven wrong. When we wave the banner of the Rationalist, we are usually just building a sleek marble facade around a foundational, rotting self-deception. The true battlefield for truth is not external. It is the 3 inches of silence between your eyes. Your brain is not an engine designed for objective reality. It is a high-speed survival machine. It doesn't ask, is this factually true? It asks, what will this new fact cost me? If an insight threatens your social standing, your tribe, or the beautiful, deeply flawed myth of your own life, what happens in that exact visceral moment? You stop being a scientist searching for the universe's design. You become a lawyer. You scramble for loopholes, for justification, searching for the crack in the premise or the flaw in the methodology, not because you yearn for truth, but because you yearn for the smooth, comfortable silence that comes from dismissing a fundamental threat. We call this motivated reasoning. It is the invisible, anxious ghost driving the machine. Rationality demands a clean, blank slate. Psychology laughs at that demand. You were born swimming in biases. You build your life on core assumptions you simply cannot bear to test. Every belief about loyalty, money, and morality is an unexploded psychological landmine. Logic only tells you where to step around the blast radius. Think of that specific, wrenching stomach feeling of cognitive dissonance when 2 mutually exclusive truths refuse to coexist. We run from that pain. We will lie passionately, eloquently, and fiercely. We will perform elaborate intellectual acrobatics just to avoid 30 seconds of genuine psychological agony. And here's the raw edge of the problem. The more you identify as rational, the greater the weight of confirmation bias becomes. Your sheer intellect turns into a demanding pit requiring constant reinforcement that you are the smartest person in the room. You look down on faith systems built on revelation, while your own operates on an absolute, unshakable faith in your own intellectual infallibility. Is that not the same spiritual sickness, just dressed in better clothes? We believe our rational principles lead our actions. The truth is the absolute reverse. You did not decide to minimize your moral obligation after a sophisticated ethical calculation. No. First, you felt the impulsive desire that served your comfort. You made the cheap decision. You felt the familiar pulse of guilt. And then, only then, you deployed the full siege weaponry of your intellect to prove that your minimization of duty was in fact the most evolved, objective, utilitarian path. Your primal fear of uncertainty, your deep biological need for a coherent, predictable narrative, that writes the story. Logic is merely the cleaner assigned to sanitize the tracks of your emotional impulse. We confuse technical complexity for genuine self-knowledge. We use difficult, precise language not to clarify reality, but to create intellectual distance between ourselves and the messy, primitive, emotional core that dictated the answer 3 hours ago. If the truth makes you vulnerable, if it demands that you expose the root of your anxiety, you won't consciously discard it. You will simply find a small, perfect technical flaw, a legitimate-sounding asterisk that allows the rotting truth to be set neatly aside, wrapped safely in objective critique. The profound irony is that your devotion to evidence-based thinking has become your single greatest defense against self-knowledge. You live in a high, secure tower, using the perceived superiority of your framework to dismiss the faint but terrifying signals from your nervous system and the quiet, desperate ache in your hollow bone. Logic cannot float on air. It rests on axioms, core truths you refuse to question. And those foundations are chosen not by careful deduction, but by critical psychological need. Look at the one belief that sustains your entire identity. Now, ask yourself, what immediate, visceral emotional cost, what degree of crippling fear or burning shame would you pay if this single thing were proven utterly, irrevocably wrong tomorrow? That emotional weight, that is the fortress your entire rationalizing existence is built to defend. You are not rational, you are rationalizing. Stop claiming the title. Drop the heavy, brittle banner. The true rational path is not certainty. It is the constant, terrifying commitment to ruthless self-suspicion. It is the voluntary destruction of the defense systems your ego spent a lifetime constructing. Your task is simple. Identify the single most uncomfortable, objective truth your logic successfully dismissed this month, and then find the precise moment your emotional fear hired your intellect as a mercenary. Show yourself how you cheated. True reason is not a way to be right. It is a terrifying, continuous commitment to being wrong. Do you have the internal fortitude for that kind of collapse? Or will you keep using logic to build higher, thicker walls? Face the evidence. Start with the scientist in the mirror.